2027. We are the want the government things like that. Joashua strike, even at the National Association of Resident Doctors in Nigeria strike, enters its 17th or its 17th day today. Would also reports saying that the presidency is trying to get, former Deputy Speaker of the House, Ike Ekweremadu, to come back former Senate President, I beg your pardon, Ike Ekweremadu to come back and finish his jail term in Nigeria. There are a lot of things for us to unpack on the program this morning, but let's start with the very first one, and that's the that's the news about the PDP convention. Quite a number of things happened at that convention. There is a new chairman of the party, and we still have the factional side, saying that the convention that was held in Ibadan was just a sham. We've seen governors, for instance, Governor Finitri has said, he's a man of peace, so he does not know anything about, how these people were expelled. So even amongst those that are still on a particular faction, we are seeing a lot of, I don't want problem, I don't want trouble. Is PDP, and I saw a tweet yesterday by, a very popular commentator on Twitter, if we know, although a lot of people would say he has a certain political alliance. But the person said if you want to contest for anything in 2027, he said that you should leave the People's Democratic Party because there are lots of cases. He actually mentioned a number of parties. He also said do not go to the ADC. They also have cases. Do not go here. They have cases. He did not say where to go. He just said where not to go. But do you see, the PDP putting its house in order before 2027, going by this trajectory of events we've seen?
Good morning once again. Good morning to all our listeners. It's great to be here again to discuss national issues. I've always maintained that our democracy, as it is presently constituted, as it is being run today, is a pseudo-democracy. What do I mean? There are pillars of a good democratic system. And one of the pillars is a viable opposition, which is nearly absent as we speak. What we have is limited or controlled opposition. That's my opinion. Because for democracy to thrive, there must be the ruling party, the majority. There must also be a viable and credible opposition whose job is to look at the flaws in the policies, the statements, the actions and inactions of the ruling party with a view to keeping them on their toes, making them adjust such policies as it affects the day-to-day lives of the governed. And in the end, it gives the governed, the electorate, the people, a plethora of choices to make, either to continue with the ruling party during election seasons or to seek alternatives. However, what we have playing out in Nigeria as we speak, we are drifting gradually towards a one-party system. And that is not good for democracy. That's not good for... So, for the PDP, I'm not a member of any political party. So, I can only advise them as an observer. And we've been shouting this for years on end. They should subsume personal interests for national interest. And what is the overriding national interest? Your party. And then, as a result of that factionalization, you dump that party. And go with you dump that party. And go with the gains that you have accrued from that party. I mean, all of these defections, I don't have a problem with it. So long as you drop the mandate that was bequeathed to you by the electorate using the political party that brought you in. That's my stand. Should go for that time. So you cannot factionalize your party by your actions and inactions, and then political party. It is not done. I only give them free advice, and as it is free. They can take it, they can leave it. They should subsume, all of their gladiators should subsume their personal interest for other opposition political parties to play. They should subsume, all of their gladiators should subsume their personal interest for other opposition political parties to play their role credibly. As a viable opposition. Because the end as a viable opposition. Because the end game is to deliver good governance to them. If not, they should also learn from the good governance to them. If not, they should also learn from the past, because it is good past, because it is good to the APC. They should not be played by the political to the APC. They should not be played by the political class, because the run up to this convention that happened day before yesterday and yesterday, I don't know. For some, they will say they went to obtain intervention. There is a Supreme Court judgment saying internal affairs of the party should not be subjected to judicial pronouncements. This internally. And what has led to all of this is the lack of internal democracy by even the political gladiators in all the different political parties. So now you have conflicting court judgment. One is coming from Abuja, another one is coming from Dutse, another one is coming from Aba, and then they secured another one in Ibadan on Friday. And then with this, another one was delivered around 3 p.m. again. And then with this, another one was delivered around 3 p.m. again in Abuja again. How many court cases? How many court injunctions over just one event? That's the highest regulatory body for the judiciary. They need to begin to sanction all of these judges who are being used to procure all these court injunctions. But
would you really say that these judges are being used? Could it be that maybe a certain precedent had been set that many of...
Even, I'm a layman, I'm not a lawyer. I don't claim to have legal knowledge. But when you read some court judgments, you begin to wonder on what basis, for a particular case, it gives us, the laymen, in total confusion. Different court injunctions. All of these candidates at that time is a nullity. So there are there are leaders in these parties who are alive then, you would also be. There are leaders in these parties who are alive then, you would also become all of their differences. Do
you see that happening?
That's why I used if.
All with us.
All of their differences.
Do you see that happening?
That's why I used if.
Back.
You know Maggi chicken flavor. Oh yeah, spell celery.
S-E-L-A-R-I-E. Celery.
Bros, you want turn to salary? Okay, spell turmeric.
T-U-R-M-E-R-I-C.
Yes, so.
Turmeric.
Correct. One carton of Maggi chicken flavor for you.
Maggi chicken flavor with onions, celery, and turmeric. My game changer.
One day, I will be a teacher. Or maybe a doctor.
Ayo, it's time to go and sell.
I wish I could go to school.
Every day, so many young girls out there are missing out on education. But one decision can change everything. An educated girl is a strong girl who will help to build a better community. When we educate our girls, we empower our future. Don't stop her education. Her future depends on it. Agile has the conditional cash transfer CCT package for the less privileged girls. And there is a second chance opportunity for out-of-school girls. It is never too late. You can still complete your secondary education. Our girls will also be empowered with 21st century digital literary skills. Join the movement. Let's get our girls in school and keep them in school. This message is from the Kwara State Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, Kwara Agile Project, a Kwara State government project.
You sabi do this hairstyle or not? Hello, madam. No, they use me watch film now.
Customer, no vex. I dey learn the style for YouTube like this.
You get data to the press phone like that?
Na data from MTN Oyato I dey use like this so. For just 400 naira when I load, there's some me 7 minutes of calls and 600 MB data.
You be different kind hairdresser.
Upgrade your hustle with Oyato from MTN. You fit even get 15 minutes of calls with 2 gig on top for 800 naira. Dial *312*14# to join.
Oyato. To make the best of this end of year season.
Easy buy end of year, who berekete don't laugh.
From November 15 reach December 31st, 2025, una fit enjoy discounted interest rate for all purchases, reduce down payment, and 50% off-screen insurance during una application process. Thousands of gift items like bag, umbrella, jotter, power bank, ororo, nyafu bags of rice dey wait make una come carry am. Make una no dull o, come collect una own o. Sign up with EasyBuy make una enjoy end of year phone and gadget purchase sharp. No sleep for am. Visit any store wey dey near una today to enjoy this amazing opportunity to save big and win big. E go be December to remember with EasyBuy end of year awoof berekete. EasyBuy, easy life.
Terms and conditions.
Alright, you're welcome back to the Studio News Panorama right here on Royal FM 95.1 Ilorin. Let's quickly, jump into some other things. And we're just going to start this week. That's Governor Abu Kefes of Taraba State. He's going to be defecting from the PDP to, the APC. We've also read reports Governor Caleb Muftang. A lot of people are saying that was expected. The APC zoning their chairmanship, the national chairmanship to that region was supposed to actually try to Mutfwang. Earlier this year, we've seen, governors in the south region. We've seen Sheriff Oboribori of Delta State. We've seen even Joey Diri of Bayelsa. We've seen Peter. We have in PP. That's about it. These governors want re-election.
That's a possibility, but the de facto state party leader is now leaving that party for another party. The de facto state party leader is now leaving that party for another party without resolving the crisis that either he met on ground or was self-inflicted. Then what do we call such leaders? That's why I've always advocated that we should amend our laws, because these defections, all these state governors that are defecting, cannot beat their chest and say they don't have a hand in the lingering crisis in the PDP. Because at every point in time, at some point in time, they would have lent their voice for or against. They would have held consultations with other stakeholders in the party. Nobody will just take a unilateral decision amongst them. Are you following my logic? So, in my opinion, I believe they should have waited to resolve the crisis instead of shying away from it. Because if you leave, you are still going, the party you are going into, now, as a sitting governor, you defect to another party.
There might be court cases brought against you.
Apart from even that, there are people you met on ground. The party you are defecting to, now that party was in the opposition in your state. You come in, it becomes the ruling party. You become the state party leader. There are people you met on ground. So if you cannot resolve the one where you are coming from, how will you resolve the ones that will arise as a result?
With the PDP,
it is the state. If you have a proper understanding,
top down.
So if you cannot rally with another party, that one too has its own inherent problems. It's not as if they are crisis free, but they have a way of peppering over the cracks and presenting a united front. Now you are coming in. Are you coming to exacerbate the feature, the lines of division, or you are also going to come in and then everybody would governors and counting? It doesn't change the
air demand. Now, how would they probably cannot afford? How would you describe, how would they probably cannot afford? How would you describe, the
text? However, government is a administration to wiggle. Now, the Nigerian government, without reference to this particular administration alone, the Nigerian government has always. I'm laying out all of this background so that our listeners can begin to make their own conclusions. But I will express my opinion on it. The government is only paying lip service to when the president came in. He has inherited both the politicking galore. The political class. Don't forget the National Assembly. What happened? The president told us go and vote and got less. Purchasing power reduced, inflation exacerbated. So the word go. I would have expected that the president would look at, having said, don't pity, to his public education. That's. I'm a sport lover now.
I was going to ask you, how did you sleep last night?
Don't worry about that. If you take these 5 pillars and insulate it from politics, the average and some of the shenanigans that they do perpetuate. But what do we have? We have a president that goes on politicking from May 29. Every step has been geared towards 2027. Meanwhile, INEC has placed embargo on all political activities. Look at when ASU declared their own strike. The minister will come and say some things to the press. ASU will come out and say, this is not factually correct. Now, NAD has gone on strike. Today is their 17th day. Other unions in the public health sector are joining. So what is the hope for the common man and the political class, especially the top education? They don't care about it. And by extension...
.1, stick around with us. We'll be right back.
This is Jolly Johnny on the streets. How well do you know Maggi chicken flavor? Oh yeah, spell celery.
SELARI.
TURMERIC.
Yes, so.
Turmeric.
Correct. One carton of Maggi chicken flavor for you.
Maggi chicken flavor with onions, celery, and turmeric. My game changer.
Isn't one big break? It's in the little wins that happen every day. Like when you finish selling your goods before noon. Or when your customer sees your effort, understands your money point.
With the MTN YouTube Buffet Bundle, you can enjoy live games on YouTube and celebrate like crazy. All cut up with a wide array of other sports. Highlights, so you never miss any big moments. See more, be more. Spend less. Get over 4 hours of YouTube streaming for just 250 Naira or 10 hours for 600 Naira on the MTN YouTube Buffet Bundle. Dial *312 *800 hash to start today and go make a difference.
Final stretch of the program this morning. It is still the News Panorama on Royal FM 95.1 Ilorin. And of course, we have 1 or 2 more stories to touch. We're just going to touch them briefly before we leave. Mr. Lawal Larawaju is still with us in the studio. Now, there are reports, in the news that, President Bola Tinubu has sent envoys to the United Kingdom to broker a deal for the premature release of Ike Ekweremadu, a former deputy Senate president who was sentenced to 9 years imprisonment for organ harvesting by a British court in 2023. Now, there are reports and certain people are linking it again to be a political move. Mr. Lawal Larawaju has said that majority and most of what the president has done.
Let me provide a little contextual background. The former deputy Senate president, Ike Ekweremadu, is from Enugu State. Enugu West Senatorial District to be precise. Enugu State is one of the 5 states in the southeast as a geopolitical region. That region has always delivered block votes to the PDP since 1999. The only difference was in 2023 where the entrance of a third horse in an either to two-horse race. That's Peter Obi of Labour Party that swayed, sentiments. And then instead of delivering a block vote to the PDP, they delivered it to. So it is a bad thing if it takes precedence over good governance. But it becomes a bad thing
if it takes
precedence with our day-to-day living aside. Now, Ike Ekweremadu was convicted, was tried, and convicted. It is one of two things. Number one, the trial will still be unending as we speak. That trial will not be
to have been served.
And that was what happened in the UK. If you're to be in Nigeria with his placement as a political icon in this country, it is either the case will still be adjourned, or they will find a political solution to it. And I'm suspecting that all of these moves has political undertones. The president and his handlers are looking at using Ekweremadu as a bait. Yes, I said it. To lure or to sway sentiments towards his side from the southeast. It is not a bad thing, no. It's a political move. But let's call it what it is. Now, what remains to be seen? Will the UK acquiesce to Nigeria's demands? That is for the UK to decide. I don't speak on behalf of the United Kingdom's government. Another question that begs the mind is, if UK acquiesces and say, okay, because there's an existing prisoner transfer agreement, there's a framework that was bettered under the then President Goodluck Jonathan in 2014. But that framework, that agreement, that prisoner transfer framework has not been activated. Or if it has been activated, we don't have record of we exchanging prisoners.
Yet.
British citizens serving their time here, sent to the UK, and then UK sending Nigerians who are doing time there back to Nigeria. So there's no precedence. This would be the first case if it happens.
But why should it be the first case?
And again, I said there's an existing agreement.
I'm saying why
framework.
Should this particular case be the first one?
You direct that question to the handlers of the president, not to me.
He was accused and was convicted of organ harvesting. We also need to consider sometimes, the
which is a heinous crime.
Exactly.
It is a crime against humanity.
We need to consider the gravity of such
the offense. Yes, I know. However, because that framework is there, that agreement is there.
Nigeria can determine who they want.
Yes, the government can decide to activate it and put whoever they want on that framework, under that framework. That is at their discretion. However, another important question is, if Ekweremadu is transferred back to Nigeria, is he coming to finish his jail term? Or, as it is done, or as it is being seen to be done, the president has what we call a prerogative of mercy. Even the state governor has a prerogative of mercy. Listeners can listen and make their judgment. Don't forget that the present governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, has defected to the APC. The same government of Enugu State has Ekweremadu's son as a commissioner. So put your one and one together and tell me your answer.
All right.
I'm asking you.
Are you asking me?
Okay, let's ask our listeners.
Let's ask our listeners. All right. We have to wrap up with the program right now. With the suspension of the 15% fuel import duty, the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise has actually, asked for it to be introduced back. But we didn't have time to take that. We actually have a sponsored program in the next few seconds. But thank you so much, Mr. Lawal Olayanwaju, for joining us on the program this morning.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
When next we reach out to you, be available to oblige our call. There are quite a number of things for us to discuss, and we need to see to it that, everything that happens, everything that goes on is for the good of the average, woman. But that's our time on the program. When you see something wrong, see to it that you actually speak to it. When you see something, that is not so, our studio is situated, we see students on the road every other day. That's not the way for education to, to be done in a country like this. When what does that say about, the state of education? Not just the students, even the staff and of course the lecturers as well. So, there are a lot of things. When you see something wrong, we need to say something. When you see somebody in your workplace taking something you're not supposed to take, you need to say something. It's also important that Nigerians lend their voices to these conversations. When these things are happening, speak about it, talk about it. My name is Ayodapo Oluide.
95.1. We are premier. We are royal. Royal FM 95.1. We are premier. We are royal.